All right. We were having kind of a funny conversation right before this. I don't know if it's going to be brought up on the show, but it may be. But hey, it is. I think we're right on time. It is 7:00. I'm John Pope.
Stephen Ray.
Colton Burney.
Hey, and you're watching the Chain Gang. Hey, we want to shout out to, we're going to talk to him in just a second. Ryan White, once again, is on just wrapping up his vacation.
How was that? I guess we'll find out.
Well, I talked to him, and I'm not a mountain, I'm a beach dude. We talked about this. You said I was weak. But I'm excited after looking at it. I looked at all his pictures, and he was kind of telling me about it. I'm excited about it. So we're going to talk to him in just a second.
I'll get that out of your way.
Hey, now is your opportunity to like and share this page right now. So like and share this page if you're just coming on so we can get more viewers. We want to showcase more young athletes like old Colton over here. So I got to tell you, right before we came in here, they have right outside the studio right now, they have an axe forging class going on.
When I saw the smoke, I was like, man, John has pulled up his barbecue. He's out there smoking meat for Colton and I.
Were you excited?
I was till I saw it was
as an axe forging class. No, but Story Church has for their youth program tonight. They have an axe forging class, which is neat, which is really neat. So you go and you forge your own hatchet.
Yeah, hatchet, I guess.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, they were like, I mean, they started with like a little flat piece basically, and they like made pretty much the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, they're making these hatchets, and then you get to go out and throw them.
Yeah, and you could throw them at this like wood block. I got to throw them. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, Colton's out there like savage. Like
they said that Dr. Quinn and Sully were out there.
No one is going to get that reference. Do you know who he's talking about?
I have no
idea. There you go. You and I get it.
I was going to say anyone over the age of 45 probably got it.
He's out there like Last of the Mohicans. Do you know that movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. One of the greatest war movies ever. He's out there, Last of the Mohicans. He's pulling him from behind his back and just tossing him. I mean, he's savage.
Slinging.
He's pretty savage. So, hey, uh-oh. Yes, I'm glad you Brandon, I'm glad you
Look at that.
So, Brandon, we talked about this in the last anyways, so we talked about this in the last show, and I asked Steven, because I always wear headbands. I like them in the summertime. I don't know why, but I'm just a headband guy. And Steven said he was going to bring out his headband, and you guys can see he's going back to the classic.
I call it my Johnny Mac headband.
What do you think? Would you wear that, Colton?
Oh, for sure.
Hey,
that's a LeBron James.
I'm telling you, the babes dig it.
The babes dig it. What do you think, Colton?
I don't know.
See, we've got
not a first date thing for me, I'd say.
Probably not a first date thing. So we've got the Baker Mayfield, and I didn't steal this from Baker Mayfield. I was wearing headbands way before Baker Mayfield came along. But me and Baker, we like our headbands. But you do pull it back to like the John McEnroe days. I mean,
I like to kind of get, when my hair gets a little longer, get that fluff kind of drooping over it.
What does Shelly think?
Oh, she loves it.
Looks like he's about to do some jazzercise.
Yeah. Dude, hey, show us one jazzercise move real quick.
Oh, I don't. Not yet. Too early in the show, John.
Alicia says, wow, that's an awesome show. I'm not over 45, though. I don't know what that means. I think that was a smite.
Yeah.
So
calling you guys old.
So bringing that up, Alicia, our executive producer, is not here today, and neither is Little B. And so we've got our executive producer, Ellie Mayray, who is going to come on and do her top 5 with us. And so we thank you, Ellie, for helping us out here and being the executive producer. She looks thrilled that we just mentioned her name.
Right.
So, hey, before we move on, your wife says, you have no idea. Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I can see it, man, because I look over at you and I'm like, that guy's one good-looking dude.
I mean, all you can think is, wow.
Colton, is this what you signed on for?
I didn't know what to expect. I didn't expect headbands though.
Well, we should have told you that.
I should have brought one.
I should have. Yeah, you should have told me one.
I
would've
probably
brought
have one in the truck if Elliot. No, I'm just kidding. So, hey, before we get too deep into this, I want to stop and thank one of our show sponsors, Dr. Kaiser. Dr. Kaiser, we appreciate you. He is our local chiropractor and does an amazing job. I've went in there so many times, like broken, like seriously broken, and he'll like pop me like 2 or 3 times and be like, there you go, young samurai or whatever he calls me. But I mean, he does an amazing. Like I went in there one time, I thought I broke my hand, and I was like, man, I'm just coming to you looking, maybe you can do something. He popped my wrist and it was healed.
Just like that.
Just like that. I mean, he's amazing. So guys, if you have aches or pains or want to be more in line, I think.
Colton, didn't you do some wrestling in your career?
I did. Yep.
Did you ever get put anyone in the pretzel hold?
The
Pretzel. I can't say that I have.
See, Dr. Kaiser can, if you've been in the pretzel hold, he can help you.
I got to put this up there because he has one in every color. So if I drive by your house and you're out there like mowing and feeding your livestock, are you wearing a headband?
It can be a yellow one. Oh yeah, or red.
Colton, what do you think
It's like a
about
pink
this?
guy to me.
Looks like
I've got kind of a fuchsia colored one.
fuchsia color. Oh, well, this. And
I
then
should have brought one that stood out a little more than the black.
Brandon Pringer says Bo Duke with a headband on his head. I don't know who Bo Duke is.
Dukes of Hazzard.
He's blonde.
Oh, why didn't?
That's what, now Burnsauce could
probably
pull
what I
that
look
off.
like, yeah.
Yeah, you could pull Dukes of Hazzard off. So, hey, I want to bring up something because obviously you guys know I'm a huge OU fan, but what did you just do?
This guy.
Who are you? Oh, Arkansas.
No.
What?
Go Big Red. Nebraska.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Nebraska. I should have known. Well, we have a huge rivalry.
Yeah. We don't get to play anymore.
No,
but
we
used
are.
to have.
We have a whole. We're playing at OU this year, and then Nebraska next year.
Talking about football?
Football, yeah. I think you're like. I told your dad. I said I am definitely going to Nebraska because I've never been to that stadium.
Oh, it's a Memorial Stadium?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be amazing. Like, it's supposed to be like the greatest. It's supposed to be like basically the Arrowhead Stadium of college football.
Yeah, so I'm going. I'm
Well,
excited.
that would be very impressive then.
No, but
Aren't you a Broncos fan?
No.
Or is that
you're a
just
Kansas
Hunter?
City fan, right?
No.
Who are you? Raiders?
No.
You're a Cowboys fan?
Cowboys.
Oh, my.
Oh my!
Giddy
outta
up.
here.
Giddy up.
So we don't even need to talk anymore on that.
Yeah.
No, giddy up. No, in my day and Nebraska, Oklahoma, it's funny because now people always say Texas, Oklahoma, and yeah, Texas, Oklahoma is a huge rivalry for us, but there was no better rivalry to me than Oklahoma and Nebraska.
I used to, when I was like 10 or 11, I would go back and watch Nebraska highlights.
Yeah.
And like all the was Eric Crouch. He was a big time Nebraska quarterback, and he has this amazing like what is it called?
I don't know.
Football.
Yes. Whatever. It's like a once in a lifetime play where it's like a flea flicker and he goes out as a receiver and
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean Nebraska has been a powerhouse. Oklahoma's been a powerhouse, and it like growing up there was no other game for us. And it's funny because it wasn't till I don't know. To me, it was like. Yeah, I'm like I said. I mean, Oklahoma, Texas is always a big deal, but it was always Oklahoma, Nebraska, and it was always around Thanksgiving. And so I remember watching. That's how I became a fan of Oklahoma. I watched Oklahoma, Nebraska with my dad. Had no clue who either team was, and he took a football, and we went outside afterwards, and he slammed it in my gut, and he said, "You're a Sooner. You don't root for any other team." And so I have never, since 5 years old, liked another team besides Oklahoma. So, but yeah, those were the classics. But Oklahoma softball, you probably don't watch softball
it that much, but
do you watch it?
No.
Okay, it was amazing. I mean the World Series, and it's just like the guys do in the baseball World Series, except it's not the best of two. The best of three. It is the you lose and you're automatically in the elimination round. And so Oklahoma played this team, James Madison University. And no one expected. I mean, here's a team that no one's ever heard of. I mean, like, I've never heard of James Madison University. They come in, we're number 1 seeded. They're not even seeded. And they beat us. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And they go through the tournament and they beat every team they play. And then we ended up in the end having to beat them twice in a row. But my point being with this is, yes, Oklahoma won the national championship. I'm excited. They're, such a great team this year. But the picture for JMU is what I think young kids should look at. We posted this on the Chain Gang show, or on the Chain Gang Facebook page. Go back and look at it. But she never had a coach. She painted pictures of targets on her wall, and she would get on YouTube videos, and she would go out there and learn to pitch. And she pitched every game of the World Series, every pitch of the World Series. I think it was like 1,000-some pitches. And we beat her the first game back, and then we came back and we're playing them again. And you could just see she was just wore out. 1,000-some pitches in a week's time. And what was amazing to me was that you could tell she was wore out. I mean, we were hitting home runs off her. We were getting hits off of her, and they went to pull her. And this is like in the 6th inning. Girls played a 7, but she was crying on the mound. And
you can't cry in softball.
Well, but I get that, and it wasn't like this baby cry. It was just emotional. I'm giving everything. Kind of like, you've got everything I got. And when she got pulled, our fans, Oklahoma, which the tournament's played in Oklahoma City. So, it's 26 miles from Norman. So, it's huge fan bases there. But we gave her a standing ovation. And I was proud of our fans because, they're recognizing greatness. So here's this girl that comes in, probably would have never been recognized. But all of a sudden, in the softball world, she's a legend. Absolute legend. So I bring that up because I think that's what sports are about. You get those times where this person comes out of nowhere and is a superstar, especially in the high school and college worlds. But it was a great series. I'm proud that my Sooners won it all. We were national champions. And that's all I have to say about that.
Now, I did watch one evening, but the Sooners weren't playing.
Well, why would you watch when the Sooners weren't playing?
It's just the luck of the draw. We're kind of on the go a lot, so we don't have a lot of extra time to.
You are. Because you've got you got 4 kids in sports at all times.
That I know about.
I
can't be saying that on the air.
No, I was gonna say you're gonna get in trouble when you get home. So, but no, I was proud of them. It's fun to watch college. To me, it's fun to watch college sports because you see. To me, it's the last time where it's about the love of the game,
right?
And hey, we're just trying to win championships. So,
and that's what I love about the college football game.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you see those guys, they're up till bowl season. That's the only time I get mad is when they're like, I'm opting out of this bowl game because I'm going to go pro.
I hate that so much.
Do you?
It's so dumb. You play the whole season, why would you not want to do that? I just don't get it.
Well, and my point is if I was an NFL manager, I'm looking at that saying, how much commitment do you have?
Yeah, that's even Nick Saban, there's an interview with him where he's talking about he doesn't want kids that go transfer a ton because he wants in his eyes that's a lack of being able to face adversity. And if you're just I'm not in the bowl game I wanted, so I'm just gonna sit it for my career, that's just selfish in my eyes, I think.
Love it. Yeah, because I agree. Alicia, obviously she said she had heart, grit, and self-motivation. So you got to go back and look at this kid. She was amazing. So We have with us on the phone, I believe, right now, unless I've really messed this up, we have the co-host of the Chain Gang, Ryan White, with us.
What up, Pope?
What up, man? How are you?
I'm good, brother. How y'all doing over there?
I'm missing you. Not that Steven's not been great, but
That hurt.
no, just in everyday life, man. You and I are good friends. So, like, how was your vacay?
Man, it was awesome. So went out to Yellowstone. Got to see all that it is out there. It is unbelievable. I don't know if Stevie and little Bernie there, if he's ever got to go out there, but it is a trip that I think everybody needs to make. It is so beautiful. It smells really funny. Got to do a little fly fishing, which I've never done that before in my life. So my first trout that I've ever caught on a fly line was on the Madison River, which I hear is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I don't know, man, but fly fishing alone sounds like a big deal.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We had a great time. So I was listening to y'all there talking about that James Madison pitcher. She is phenomenal. I think she is certainly a person that our young female athletes around here should look to as a role model, because that young lady, full of heart, full of grit, big time character, and really sad to see them lose. Glad for the Sooners, though. I know you're a big Sooner fan, but she is a classy act, and what a lady to look up to.
Yeah, and you know what's funny, Ryan? It's like, I will never root against Oklahoma. I mean, even that girl, I was never going to root against her. But on the offhand, it was one of those games where you just wouldn't be that disappointed if you didn't win, because, it's funny because I think a lot of the Sooners fans became almost as much a fan of her as they did the Oklahoma team.
Yeah, I think the whole country is really, and the Sooner fans, I don't know if y'all talked about this, but they were a class act too, because they gave her a standing O when she came out of that last game, which I thought was really cool that they did that for her and recognized what was taking place. It was bigger than the game at that point.
Yeah, it was, and a lot of people don't. And this is kind of gross, but I got to bring it up. She pitched so much, she ripped her toenails off. Oh my God. Yeah, her toenails fell off. That's how much she pitched, and she continued to just give everything she had, and so it was kind of no surprise and I go back to JMU and I say, if they would have had one pitcher that was even remotely good to help her out, I think JMU wins it all.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the difference in the program status, and the level of university that you're at. But I agree. They were a good ball team. And what was the girl from Oklahoma, I think, that had a broken finger or a dislocated finger or something?
Yeah, we talked about this on the show last week, and you weren't here. You were vacationing.
I was in the mountains.
You were in the mountains. But I contrasted this with LeBron James and how if he gets poked, he falls on the ground and starts crying. Yes, and so our first baseman, Snow, had slid into third base and completely dislocated her finger, which crazy. And so we had the coach mic'd up, and the coach came in and she's like, "Get the team doctor. She's out. We're taking her to team doctor." And she's like, "Set it." And she was out for she was out. Yeah, she was out for 2 minutes, and they set it and taped it, and she was back in. And I'm like,
there's really nothing else you can do either besides ice and rest it.
But to go through that much pain, I don't know. I was kind of contrasting how I think girls' sports have gotten tougher, and I'm talking about at the major league or the professional level, not high school and college. So, but how girls' sports have gotten tougher and men's sports have gotten weaker.
We got a bunch of prima donnas in the NBA for sure. I think at this point, which I think is really sad. The game when Jordan was playing is not the game that it is today. But anyway, I'm not going to go down that path. I do want to make a comment y'all were talking about these players leaving early in college and not going to bowl games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a little bit of a different opinion on that. So I see both sides of the coin. I mean, you're committed, right? And I think Cole was talking about it. You're committed to your team, play the whole season, right? But you got to try to put yourself in their shoes. I mean, some of these guys, they've come from nothing, and now they have an opportunity to go make millions, and they'll set their whole family up for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And if it's a bowl game that, maybe a middle to lower tier bowl game, like, why would you risk your entire livelihood and future on a game that ultimately at the end isn't going to matter if you're like a first or second round draft pick? I mean, what would you do if you had the chance to make, however many $1 million signing bonus they get just for getting drafted and selected?
Well, that came up. Yeah, I mean, that came up in my career.
Yeah, right.
No, I agree with you. I mean, it's hard for us to say, as fans, it's hard for us to say, yes, that's what I would do because we've not been there. 99% of us haven't even played at the D1 level, and so
right.
No, I get it. I get your point. You and I, we went back and forth on this a couple shows ago. So
yeah, I think that those guys that do that and they go on and make that money and they set mama up and all their brothers and sisters up for life. I mean, that is also an honorable thing.
Yeah. No, I get that point. I'm still not going to pull away from the fact that I think you have a contract and obligation, to play those games for the fans, for the university. But I do see that point. Hey, Alicia wants to know real quick. Did you see the Duttons in Yellowstone? She needs to know.
I did not see the Duttons. I was looking for them.
She's primarily looking for Rip and no one else.
Rip, yes, I know. Every woman in America is looking for Rip.
And if you go not there, yeah. So let me tell you, if you're a Yellowstone fan, the series on TV, and you like Rip, Google some images.
Google who he was.
Yeah, it will give you a whole different perspective on Rip, and you'll like your husbands again. So you don't watch Yellowstone?
No.
Okay. You okay?
Oh man!
Hey, before I let you go, man, how are the Hogs doing right now?
So last time I looked, before I got on the call here, they were down 2-1. It was the top of the seventh. So they have got to win today. The series is split 1-1. The thing that's going against the Hogs is the number one overall seed, which is what Arkansas is, has never won the College World Series. So
did not know that.
They have. We've got a lot of obstacles to overcome, but NC State, they're a good team. Right now, it's sitting Stanford, Vanderbilt, and Tennessee have all advanced, and then there's a couple other series still playing out. Texas is winning theirs. I hope they get smashed today. But yeah, the Hogs they're struggling right now, so we'll see how it shakes out.
All right, man, we're rooting with you. I'm rooting for the Hogs.
Thanks, buddy.
And just so everyone knows, I'm going to go ahead and announce this real quick. No show next week. We're going to celebrate Father's Day because, I mean, we deserve to be pampered, do we not?
I totally agree with that.
So no show next Sunday, and then we will be back for our first show now that Ryan's back in our new studio next week. So I'm excited. Yeah, excited to be back and excited to see you back here, man.
Yeah, buddy. We all have fun.
All right. We'll see you, brother.
See you, dude.
Bye. All right. So
Ryan White from the road.
Do you know Ryan White?
I do.
Yeah, right.
So, I wanted to tell Ryan White that what you do is you just say, we do what me and Burn Sauce would do. You say a prayer the night before the big game, and you go ahead and play.
There you go.
I agree. Yeah. I don't get Pringers. Hey, John, is there items that let me put it back up there. Are there items that can be created to help support the chain gang, such as a Wildcat chapstick or other items that could benefit the program? Just throwing it out there. Are we trying to raise money? Is he saying I have chapped lips? I don't know. Because Pringer and I have this weird relationship.
Well,
or you do too.
Don't get me started with chapstick and Brandon Pringer. I'll just leave it at that.
So is there a chapstick story?
He uses a lot of it.
Well, maybe that's the reference, and I just didn't get
I
it.
mean, who knows? Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Do you know Colton?
I have no idea.
Do you think your dad's watching right now?
Oh, yeah, I can just about guarantee somebody in my family's. Oh, looking cold.
No, I got to bring this up because no, Pringer's saying yes to raise money, which would be awesome. Yeah, we're always trying to raise money for our sports programs. It does not ever go to us. You and I do this for free. Ryan White does it for free. So I got to put this one back up there. Hannah Burney says, looking good, Colton. Who is Hannah?
Hannah's my sister, my older sister.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was just making sure. So, Hannah, your brother's doing good. So, all right, before we get into the reason we're here tonight, the Colton Burney, I want to say we want to thank our show sponsor, Kingdom Fitness 417, for everything they do. You're going to start, really, I think that's what your wife said, is that you're going to start working out there with me.
When are we doing that?
Well, we do it. Ryan and Stephanie and I, we all do it throughout the week. And we have not been there for a little bit because he's been on vacation. But
You don't go if he doesn't go?
I'm scared. They have a ton of football. I mean, like, they have a ton of football players that work out there, and that's fun because, like, I always like to, you get to talk to them. We're going to be calling their games next year. But they're in there putting in work right now. And so I think you're going to go, right? Maybe.
I mean, if me and you get in there, we would intimidate those guys.
Well, we do. Ryan puts up, I'll tell you what, Ryan impressed me because I really thought, I feel like I lift heavy. Ryan's a stud. So I think the three of us, we get in there, we bulk up, and we really, set the tone for the season. Coach Talbert's going to be like, thank you for setting the example.
Yeah. Hey, I saw Coach Talbert and the gang at some 7-on-7 this past Monday in Ozark, and I think they'll be down there again tomorrow doing it again.
Yeah, so
kind of nice seeing some football pick up. So
yeah, because we're kind of in that dead season. There's just not a lot of school sports going on right now. So look at this. Ryan says, "I love the shirt, man." I meant to tell you that when you came in. American flag, aloha. What is it called? Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Love it.
very few can pull that look off.
No, only a Colton Burney can pull that look off. So
What can I say? It's just how it is.
So, hey, we want to, once again, thank you, Kingdom Fitness 417, for being our sponsor. Now we can get to the reason we're here is we've got the Colton Burney on for the rest of the show. He's been on the entire time. I normally let guests look at the questions, and I didn't. We were outside throwing axes, and so I kind of didn't. I want to start off because I think it's kind of important, and your dad and I have talked about it a little bit, but you had an injury a couple years ago. Is that correct? Did you have a concussion?
Which one?
Well, you got a
Yeah.
concussion, and that stopped you from playing football.
Yep.
For how many years?
2 years. Sophomore, junior year.
Okay, so you played your freshman year, didn't play your sophomore, junior year. I don't need to ask it. I'm going to, but what was that like for you?
It's pretty rough. I can show you the MRI of the cyst on my brain, but I mean, that's pretty rough. That was the only time like my grades were lacking. Everything else was just like, I don't know, it was just wasn't a very fun time in life.
Yeah, and I know, and here's the only reason I'm asking is because I think it plays on to like kind of that amazing story later on. But your dad and I talked about it last year at a tailgate, and they were scared.
Yeah, my mom was like, I don't even remember anything from the night that it happened. All I remember is like a guy running at me and then just like being on the bench. And then like Coach Little told me that Coach Little had to like walk me back to the locker room because I just couldn't even like.
So this was in baseball.
This was in football.
Football, okay.
It was a JV game, and Coach Little was there, I guess, and he told me that he was the one that basically helped me walk back to the locker room. And my mom, I don't remember very much of my mom being emotional or anything, but she was apparently really, obviously that's her son,
Sure.
She doesn't want to see
And
her
her
son
baby.
go. Yeah, I'm the youngest too, so, and her only boy. So to her, that was pretty hard on my mom. I don't remember a whole lot from it, but it just wasn't a very fun time.
I think it's important if we're going to interview you about your career at LR. I hate to bring that up because it's not anything we like. Your dad was very emotional when he talked about it. I would imagine, you and I would be too.
Right.
But I think it leads into, I needed to bring that up because you go from freshman year to not playing football until your senior year.
I could have played. So my junior year, I had thought about it, asking, because the thing was, my mom was like, no, as far as I knew, I was not allowed to play football. That was not an option anymore, and which is, I think, kind of reasonable from their point of view. But going into my senior year, I was like, those are my friends. I want to play. I want to finish. I don't even care if I don't even play. I want to have fun. I want to finish. I want to play my senior year, just for the heck of it, even if that's all I get out of it. And I remember talking to my dad, in the living room, being like, Dad, I want to play football. And him, because at that point I wanted to play college baseball. And I remember him being like, well, son, what are you, what happens? You go out there and it just gets worse. You just first hit, and he basically told me as long as you're full go, as long as you're full into it, I'm okay with you doing it. But if I see you shying away from stuff, I see you halfway doing it, you're out. I'm not letting you do it. That was basically the deal. So
that's awesome. I'd be that way too. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I'd be reserved.
Very reserved.
Especially your sister says she remembers that night and they were all worried. So I felt we had to lay that groundwork, like I said, though, because it's amazing you don't play football from freshman year, which, you know how boys are at freshman year. They're underdeveloped compared to, juniors and seniors.
I was 5'4", 5'5", 130.
Yeah. So then you come in this year and you're a beast.
Thanks.
I don't know what else to say.
You and Ryan always talk about being chippy, and I coming from a guy's view, I think you'd have to come into it thinking I've got something to prove, and I've just missed 2 years, and so I have to come back and give it 120% because I've missed out on a couple of years.
That's pretty much. I didn't even know what I was doing half the time. Because I hadn't, basically coming freshman year, it wasn't even, I didn't remember a whole lot of stuff from playing because it had been 2-3 years. And so, it was basically clean slate. All right, guys, just, I remember doing, going to Glendale, because we do, pickup games and stuff over the summer. And basically just being all right, well, see how this goes, I guess.
And tell everybody what position you played.
I played corner. So I was a defensive back, which is safeties and corners. And I was a corner. So I was the guy, I basically just cover receivers and, anything deep half or flats if I need to, if that's part of the defensive plan.
And I never played corner. I don't know if you
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never did because I was always bigger. I'll tell you, in my opinion, D-line, linebackers, there's nothing like being a cornerback or safety. I think that those are the hardest jobs in football on the defense because you're not you're tackling in space, which is tough. One.
Yeah, open field
tackling.
Pretty dang hard.
So, and not knocking, yes, D-line, linebackers, whatever. Those are tough jobs and we appreciate them. But the strength of your defense a lot of times is in your backfield.
Secondary stuff.
Yeah.
Because, the thing is, like there are a lot of people that'll say corner is the hardest position behind, either harder than quarterback or right with quarterback, because there's just so much that goes into it. And, you just have to be – I don't know if you've ever tried to, press man anyone, but that is so hard. If you don't know what you're doing, you're done. It doesn't matter how good the receiver is. It takes time to learn how to do that, and it takes, a certain skill set. It's not an easy thing to do. But there are a lot of people that'll say, your secondary, if anything gets behind me, it's touchdown. That's pretty much just how it goes.
So, and you were all conference as a cornerback, weren't you?
Or was it a long time ago, John?
But you were. Was it a cornerback or
receiver?
Receiver, okay. But you played cornerback at the same time.
Right. I was second team on cornerback.
Yeah, Ryan said outside quarterback, CB is toughest hands down. So I bring this up because I'm going to give you, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I was trying to think about this today. I definitely remember the Hollister game.
The Hollister game?
Was that the game you saved?
That was Marshfield.
Okay, so Marshfield all day then, because you saved 5 touchdowns. I don't remember how many touchdowns.
There were 2 in the end zone, 3 in the end zone.
That you saved. You knocked, you deflected.
Away. And then there was a pick that was, pretty close to the end zone. There might have been another.
I had in my head, if you asked me, I said 4, but that's not saying there wasn't more.
I think it was 4 or 5.
We would not have won Marshfield that game without you. 100%. We lose that game. Do you agree?
I do.
Offensively, we were doing great, and defensively we were doing great, but we don't win Marshfield without you. You were a rock star. How many times we're calling the game, we get crazy, dude, because we're excited when you guys do stuff. And it was Bernie this and Bernie that, and we talked to you after the game, I believe.
Yeah.
That may have been the game we were afraid Rick was going to go down.
In his
overalls.
That's right. Yeah, because your dad, so we got the broadcast booth, and then
he was just a couple of rows down.
Yeah, he sits 2 rows down, and we kept saying, are we gonna have to call EMS for Rick Burney?
Oh my goodness,
he gets
fired up. I've never seen someone get that excited. I can usually tune out the stands. I can hear him every game, whenever I'm playing. It not as much, but if I'm going into I can hear him verbally I can hear it the whole time.
So that was a question. Okay, so I'm going to skip ahead a couple questions real quick because one of my questions is parent like Rick ?
Baseball, that was rough because baseball is a lot less noisy and stuff like that. So the idea oh, Dad's watching me, that always used to get to me a ton. But football, I don't even, when you get that adrenaline going and you get out on the field, I don't hear anything.
Yeah.
I hear snippets of my dad. That's probably the only thing I'll hear just because he's so loud and because I recognize that as his voice. But man, when you get on that field, you don't feel anything and you don't hear anything. For me, it was so laser focused. Once as soon as I got on the field, you don't feel getting hit, you don't feel hitting anyone. But after the game, the adrenaline wears off, you feel everything. You're oh man.
Yeah. Well, I bring that up because I would say, wouldn't you, that you and I, when our kids are playing, we're kind of like that. I know you are. We'll skip ahead of how I know you're that way, but just Thursday night, we're screaming for our kids. You hear it, right, Ellie? I mean, you hear your dad, you hear me. Like,
I heard a guy this past Thursday.
yeah, it was. Who was that?
He was just he was sitting in your area.
Sitting in my area. Yeah. Well, you know, me and that coach don't always see eye to eye.
Right.
But
Right.
I asked you a question. My point was, and I said parent like Rick because I feel like Steven and I are a lot like that, and even in just sports in general, whether our kids are playing, does that motivate you as an athlete?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, well, there's a thing. So there's a thing that I've always like, or not always, but I've recently like been like had in my mind. It was a Conor McGregor thing. I love Conor McGregor.
Love him.
So there was like a thing that he said where it's basically like, if I don't give 100%, I'm letting down the people that believe in me. Like that's basically like the gist of what he was saying. Like I go in like his whole mentality is there's no such thing as talent. Like he's not talented, he's obsessed. Like there's like anyone can do anything if they put in the time to do it. And if I don't put in 100% effort, you know, the blood, sweat, and tears that my parents have put in to support me and to, you know, to pay all this money for, you know, all this medical stuff and, you know, all these hours that they've poured into my life and all this love that they show to me, like all that just goes to waste because I was too lazy to hit the weight room or too lazy to wake up at 4:30 and go train. Like, no, I'm not doing that. Like,
so the last couple of weeks, the last couple of Sundays, we've had Bergman, Bailey Ballard, we had Lily Caldwell, Riley Williams. What's crazy to me, or not crazy, I mean, I expect it, but what I think's neat in all those athletes we've had on, you guys all have the same mentality. Like just like what you're saying is, it's not necessarily I'm out there for my glory. You're out there for other people. I mean, you're playing for other people. You're playing for this community, your parents, your sister, you know, the fans, and you're giving 100% for them. Am I off base?
No. I mean, really like football, it's a lot focused around like you're doing it for the guy next to you.
Sure.
That's like, are you willing to go take a hit for the guy next to you because you love that guy next to you because that's your brother? Like, it's like football is like playing war, honestly. Like, that's as close as you can get. And, like, a lot of that mentality is, are you willing to go work hard for the guy next to you, you know, not just for your own selfish glory, I guess.
I love that.
So, Colton, tell us where you're going to be heading this fall.
I am going to a place in Iowa called Dorton University up in northwest Iowa.
How far is that?
About 8.5 hours north of here.
So what will you be? What did they recruit you to do there?
Corners. I might work in some safety. As a freshman, I'll probably play some like special teams too. But
now, is that near Sioux Falls?
Sioux Center. Sioux Falls, South Dakota is like 45 minutes west. It's like the same. Was that latitude? It's like the same latitude, but it's about 45 minutes west of there. So it's really, I mean, it's like right in there.
So are you excited?
Yeah.
Have you been training, getting ready?
Yep. A whole lot. Yeah.
So are you, at this point, are your coaches contacting you saying, hey, we need you to be doing this, we need you to be doing that?
So like we have an app that we have that they like emailed us and stuff. So it's an app. It's got all our workouts that they put in there. So like I have 3, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I have to do this like lift that they send to me. And it's like some agilities, like core stuff, and then a lift. And then Tuesday, Thursday, I have a speed and agility and a conditioning workout that they send us. And we log those workouts in that app. So every day of the week, I'm doing something for them. And then Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, I'm training with another guy, which is like, so I'm getting a lot of training in right now.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Where primarily will your games be? Are they going to be in that Iowa, Nebraska, South Dakota?
Yeah, usually it'll be like Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, I think there's like one in like Minnesota or something, because it's not very far. It's like 30 minutes from Minnesota or something like that. And then I think there is a couple in Missouri, South Dakota. Mainly it's called the conference is the GPAC, which is, I can't remember what that stands for, but that's the conference that they're in, and it's mainly like north of here. Like I won't come down and play like what's Evangeline, like Missouri Valley or something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not Missouri Valley, but I'm not
that's
sure.
Missouri State.
Right, I'm not sure.
But it's like in the Evangel.
Yeah, it's a different conference than Evangel.
Okay.
So Evangel plays guys around here, like south of where we're at, and then Dort, Northwestern, Concordia, like all the other NAIA schools in the GPAC is what I'll play, like north of here.
Your sister says Great Plains.
Yeah, that's right. Great Plains Conference.
I got one more question for you, and we've asked everybody this because I find it interesting. What has LR in this community meant to you as you've grown up here, as you played sports here?
Oh, everything. I mean, like I remember like watching like Joe and Sam Zimmer. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Those were like Dylan Cole, Sam Zimmer, Joe Zimmer. Like I knew Sam and Joe from wrestling too. Like I'd seen them around, and like seeing guys like that, you know, you're always like, oh man, I want to be like that. I want to start a game. Like I want to go to state. I want to do all this cool stuff. And so like, you know, growing up, it's always been like that. So like, you know, guys like me, Zach, Riley, TJ, I mean like everyone that I grew up with being like either friends or like buddies, I guess, with them, like we all kind of felt like that. Like, oh, look at what these guys have done. Like we should do that. Stuff like that. And the community's always been, you know, there were those years like early high school where, you know, the team wasn't as good and that's just how it was. And a lot of times the students aren't as, like, student support more or less depends on success most of the time. That's just kind of how it is. But I think my whole life, parents have always been, like, they've always been supportive, like, regardless of how we've done, honestly.
And I think there's been a different culture in the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I think, I mean, I don't even think, I think if your football team would have not even been good this year, I think that culture would have been different. And not trying to brag in what we're trying to do as a show here and broadcasting, what the football academy is trying to do, you know, with growing our programs and just getting community pride. There's so many different groups out there trying to build support, you know, because you think back, I mean, community typically rallies around school events, you know, and that's typically sports or band or drama or, you know, whatever we got going on. And so I'm excited because I think, you know, going forward, that is such a big deal for us, you know. And I got to tell you, too, you know, you brought up, you know, Joe and Sam and Dylan and all those people. There's kids out there right now that are bringing you up and saying,
that's weird to think about.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Colton Burney. Like,
but I mean, that's
crazy.
true. And we talk about, Ryan and I talk about all the time, blood, sweat, and legacy. And we bring this up on the show is you left your blood, you left your sweat, and you left your legacy out there on that field. And there's some kindergartner through fifth grader right now that's saying, man, I want to make those games stop, you know, those touchdown stops against Marshfield someday, you know. And so I got to tell you, man, we're proud of you. That was a fun game to call.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, man, that was.
So my favorite game of the year, how was that Mount Vernon game?
Oh,
From
my
the sideline.
goodness. Oh, that was the most stressful thing. I did not play near as good that game either. I did not, like, well, I mean, I didn't play bad, but I didn't have, like, the stats like that. Like, so going into that game, they had, like, their stud supposedly was, like, hurt. He had tore something, I think. And so we were like, you know, we really got a chance here. And that was coming off the Cassville game. Whew, that was a rough game.
That was a rough game
We
to call.
lost a few guys that game. Like, Gage went down that game, I know for sure. And I remember that Saturday working the the Wildcat Football Academy games, and Coach Talbert coming up to be like, "We're beating Mount Vernon. Like we're gonna find a way. We're gonna beat Mount Vernon." And that was like, we were just like, "All right, bet. Like what are we gonna do, Coach?" Like, and we practiced hard. We did all this like that whole week, and then going into that, we were down like, was it 27-3 or something like that, and ended up winning that game. And like I remember, like I had a bonehead mistake in that game. I remember Coach Rush, because the reason I remember that is because film, like was that Saturday or Monday after. I got ripped. That was the one time that season that I got ripped in film. And because I just remember watching, you could see Coach Rush, which is my position coach, you could see him on the sidelines. And then as, like, you can see it happen, and you'd see him just, and the paper just slam on the ground. And I'm just like, oh, man. Like, it's Monday morning. I don't want to have to get just ripped in this film session right now. And, winning that game, that was like probably the coolest moment in the locker room after that. That was amazing because we all, like, especially the other guys that had been playing, that meant a ton to them because they had lost to Mount Vernon really close before. And, like, that was a huge deal to everyone, especially coming back and winning that.
Well, I got to tell you, we originally started doing this and said we were only going to broadcast home games. And I called that week. Rich Starts and I were doing the home games, and I called that week and asked Rich. I said, "Do you think we should get to Mount Vernon?" And Rich is an avid fisherman, and he said, "Man, I'm going to be at the lake." And so I called Slam, and that was our first game together, like calling, wasn't it? And I'll tell you what. By the end, I didn't know if we needed to add. I mean, because we have we're on the Mount Vernon side. We got our windows open, and people were screaming at us. They were yelling at us and giving us dirty looks because we were just, if you don't get excited
crazy,
about,
yes.
we were just going crazy. Even like my wife was doing the camera, and you can hear her, which she typically doesn't talk. She's screaming.
I think I remember. I think we watched that in film.
Oh, my gosh. And so, like, we just – so I didn't know if we were going to get in trouble or not there, but man, that was an exciting game. So.
Yeah, John and I have talked about it, and I have talked to Cameron at home about it, and was telling Shelly because she doesn't realize, the football. But I said there's nothing that changes the game like a punt return for a touchdown or a kickoff return. And there's on the flip side of that, there's nothing more
like devastating
that lets the air out of your sail than giving one of those up. And man, what a turnaround that was.
You guys just took it and ran. So, well, man, we're excited. As in with all our other athletes that are moving on, we are going to absolutely be watching you. Hopefully we can catch a Missouri game or something, if you get closer, but, it's just been exciting, man. It's been great to get to know you and your family and all that. So
thank you.
We are going to do our top 5, and since Little B is at Drury basketball camp and ditched us, we're going to have the next star of the show come on, Ellie Mayray, and she's going to join us for the top 5. Before I move on to our top 5, we want to thank one of our show sponsors, Rogersville Pharmacy. Our drug dealer of choice.
Jim takes care of you.
Does it all, man. Look at Ellie. She had poison ivy last week, gave her some ointment, and she's in.
Gone. Miracle salve.
Miracle salve. So, all right, we're going to bring Ellie on. Ellie, you want headphones? Excuse me. Oh, they're sweaty. All right, so our top 5, and Ryan and I have done this top 5 before, but I thought it would be someone says, "Hi, Ellie Mayray." Might be Alicia. So we've done this top 5 before in the studio, Ryan and I have, but I wanted to see what you guys had. So we are doing your top 5 sports movies. We're going to start with Stephen Ray. He's going to give us his 5. We're going to work down to Bernie. This is fine. You're going to give us your 5 and 4, and we'll work our way back. So
okay.
Burn sauce.
Mr. Sauce.
What do you got at 5?
Coming in at number 5. One of the most honest movie titles out there. White Men Can't Jump.
Yeah, no, that is a great movie. At 5, I've got Miracle. I think that should be shown to every high school athlete that plays any sport. I think it's a great
First day of practice.
First day of practice. You should watch Miracle. What do you got?
My number 5. Oh, sorry.
Miracle Season.
Miracle Season, is that the same one?
No.
It's a volleyball.
It's some volleyball movie. I mean,
Well, I have not seen that, Ellie. Is it good? Yeah. Okay, well, you got it at 5, so it must be. So what do you got, Colt?
Yeah, my number 5 is Miracle. Too.
Nice. What do you got at 4?
4, I got The Water Boy.
The Waterfall.
Oh,
I didn't
man.
even think of like comical
know.
ones.
I got like 2 or 3 comical ones.
Hold on, what was
and I
that?
love the Water Boy.
Mama always
You can do it.
Bobby
Mama,
Boucher.
Mama always says. I love that. Yeah. What do you got at 4, Ellie?
Sandlot.
Sandlot is an excellent movie. I think a lot of people have that at 1. A lot of people have that up in their 1s even. At 4, I got For the Love of the Game, Kevin Costner. If you have not seen that movie, it is a great, great baseball movie. What do you got at 3?
4.
4, sorry.
At 4, although I don't like the star, but Jerry Maguire.
Jerry, you know what? That's a great, I don't like the star either, but that is a great sports movie.
Yep.
I love that movie. What do you got at 3?
Change sports here. Rocky 4.
Which one is that? Is that the one where he
That's-
fights the Russian?
That's where he fights the Russian.
Yeah, that's
I
a
debated
cool
on 3, which was Mr. T,
Yeah.
and I think Hulk Hogan was in 3 also.
I like 4 just because his protege gets killed. I didn't like he got killed, but I mean, he's fighting to defend him. So Apollo, yeah. At 3, I've got Draft Day. Another Kevin Costner movie. I don't think it gets better than just, I envision that's actually how Draft Day is. So what do you got at 3, Ellie?
Bad News Bears.
Bad News Bears. That's a good movie.
We saw them play that earlier today.
Did you?
Yes.
Rough team.
It was rough.
Number 3, I got Remember the Titans.
Nice. Yeah, that's a great movie. What do you got at 2?
2, I got Happy Gilmore.
How did I not think of these?
Shelley mentioned that.
The Price is Right. I can't say any more, but The Price is Right. Yeah. What are we at? 2. I got Remember the Titans at 2. I think that's a great movie.
I have Miracle at 2.
Miracle. So we got 2. You got 2 miracles in your lineup.
And at number 2, I have also Remember the Titans.
Nice. Great movie.
It was a good movie.
What do you got at 1?
Watched it not too long ago again,
I'm serious. That's one of those movies that I can repeatedly watch. Maybe, I couldn't do it like 2 or 3 times a week, but I could do it at least once a month and watch those movies.
I was debating on The Blind Side also.
Man, I forgot about that. Yeah.
In my top 5, I
Yeah.
was going to put it as my wild card maybe, but
that's
that's also a good one.
Yeah, because it's a true story as well.
Right.
So,
Right.
What do you got at 1?
Number 1, I've got Miracle.
Miracle.
And that's what, I just love the underdog. The movie, we talked to Coach Talbert last fall, and we talked about the conditioning that these guys went through. And you could see it at Mount Vernon. Those guys, that Mount Vernon team was getting tired, and we were not. And and I think as an athlete, you have to go. That's what I love about that movie. You go in there realizing, or not go into it, but if you're conditioned, you don't necessarily have to be the best.
Yeah. No, and that's true. And like you said and I said, I think honestly Miracle is one of those movies because it's a clean Disney movie one, but that from junior high to high school, like that should be your rally because that coach, he is hard. He's not some soft coach.
Liked very well.
And a lot of people think, well, you got to be their friends and stuff. I like coaches that care about you, but man, they're in it for the job. It's for the win. Great movie. At 1, I've got Friday Night Lights. I think it's the movie I could watch every day. It is one of the greatest movies, and not only Friday Night Lights, but Friday Night Lights the series. So, all right, Colton, we'll give it to you. Ellie's got the last one at 1.
My number one is Creed. Creed 1.
I
seen those?
No, I've not seen them.
I've not seen it.
They're so good.
We're old. We're old
Creed
dudes.
1's so good.
But that is Apollo's son,
Yep.
correct? Yeah. All right. Well, we'll end with Ellie Mae Ray with her number one. Hold on. It goes backwards on the camera.
Knowing the League of Their Own.
That is a great movie. League of Their Own. So, guys, we want to thank our show sponsors, Dr. Kaiser with Kaiser Chiropractic, Kingdom Fitness 417, Rogersville Pharmacy. Go see our friends at Hometown Furniture. Go talk to David Henry. Great deals on amazing furniture. They will take care of you. And go see our friend over at Greenbox Photography for your, not just your sports photos, but he does senior pictures. He does great family pictures. We want to thank all those guys for making this show happen. I want to thank my buddy over here, Slammin' Stevie, for being here for 2 weeks.
Anytime. I'll fill in for Ryan anytime.
Yeah,
Does that Green Box Photography, do they do the pictures in your John Pope calendar?
I'm just... We're going to move forward.
Rick Burney, I need to speak with you.
No, hey, there is no calendar, folks. Don't pay attention to this guy who will never be back. Wow. We want to thank our special guest, Colton Burney. Man, like I said earlier, it's been amazing to watch you and all the efforts you put in. Going from not playing for 2 years to coming out and being a rock star, getting a college scholarship to play football. We're proud of you. We will be rooting for you. And we'll continue to, obviously stay in contact with your dad and see how you're doing. So any last words, man?
God bless.
All right. I love that. Simon?
Colton, I'll say to tag on to what John said. I mean, I've known of course, you and your parents forever, seems like, with having you and Hunter the same age. But, thank you for not just what you've done on the field, but your leadership off the field, stand-up guy, your Christian values, and I appreciate that and what you've done there. And again, he spoke at the baccalaureate, did a great job there. So
thank you.
Good luck in college, and wish you guys the best.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, if you guys haven't at home got the theme of the last 4 or 5 shows we've done, we got some amazing kids who are amazing, going on to be amazing adults. So that's it. We'll end this, and thank you guys for watching. We'll be back. We won't be back next Sunday because it's Father's Day. We'll be back the following Sunday in our new studio. We're glad to kind of showcase that with you. So you guys go Cats.